What I'm going to do on this video is give you just a few of the main sites that you can go online to do some reading. One of the things that you're going to find is when you're on one site, quite often it will lead you to other sites. Get in the habit, by the way, if you find good websites that you get good information, save it in your favorites file so you can refer back to it. I'll just give you a little bit of information on some of these to help you out, and then just take some time, get a big cup of coffee and go through, and you'll be quite surprised and impressed with some of the analysts that are posting articles and commentaries online. Safe Haven, I read this one every day, pretty much every article that gets posted there. By the way, in Safe Haven, do not neglect the archives, which will be, I think it's on the top left-hand corner. The people that post articles, their previous articles that they posted there are in the archive, so pay attention to that. DecisionPoint.com, there's two sites. I think there's an advisory site within the actual site itself, and then there's another one. I can't remember the actual heading off the top of my head, but I read both of those, anyone that comes up. Tim Ord posts a lot of articles about volume and the gold stocks and the general market as well. GoldSeek has got some really good articles posted there. The SkiGoldstocks.com, this is Jeff Kern, who did the really lifetime analysis of the USERX, which is the largest U.S. mutual fund. And this is where the concept of the life run low and the death run high came from. And he also posts free articles at 321gold.com, normally once a month, and the odd time he may have an update. But this 321gold.com is free. SkiGoldstocks.com is a pay site. StockTA is kind of an interesting site where I've highlighted this actually in some of the other videos in YouTube, that what it does is it looks at the stock price chart and it analyzes key levels on the chart and gives it a number. For example, if there's a lot of volume or a lot of technical indicators at one particular price of the stock, it'll get higher numbers. So you'll get to see support zones, resistance areas. It's kind of an interesting one, so spend some time and go through that. Kitco is very famous in the precious metals, and tremendous amount of information on this site. I highly recommend to go through. The very same comment applies to financialsense.com. You could literally spend an entire day reading articles there. Of course, then you wouldn't work. Stockchase.com is kind of interesting. I suspect it's for US, although I don't really focus on that, but I wouldn't be at all surprised. I focus mainly on the Canadian stocks. Stockchase.com, what they do is every analyst that has comments on any stocks, you enter the symbol or the name, and then those comments will come up. And it gives you a little bit more information. It's dated, because that's kind of important. You don't want to hear that somebody had a good comment about a stock, but it was 5 years ago. What good is that going to do you today? And it goes a little bit further by saying, is it a top pick? Is it risky? Is it speculative? So pretty good site also. We talked about 321 Gold already. TechnicalIndicatorIndex.com, it's a pay site, but with an email you can get a 30-day free trial. And the interesting thing about this one is that this guy has been incredibly accurate at precise turn dates and projected the stock market crash months before it actually happened. And by the way, this is now October 17th, 2008. It's very likely that we may be facing another stock market crash before too long. If not in the somewhat immediate future, then certainly early into next year or by spring. But one way or another, stock markets, by all his indicators, are in serious trouble. The gentleman that actually runs TechnicalIndicatorIndex.com is Dr. McHugh. I highly recommend that you take a 30-day trial. And if you're not following stocks or you don't have a large amount of capital, you may not want to pay But if you're just viewing once in a while, well, it doesn't take a whole long time to make a second email to get another 30-day trial. I'm not recommending that you be cheap and be foolish, but I mean, if you're not investing a lot of money, well, then you obviously can't justify to be paying, but it's very useful information. Another option, it's not expensive anyways, but another option is to get 3 or 4 friends that are small investors, and maybe you can do it that way, where maybe it's only going to be like $5 a month or something, which is pretty reasonable for a small group. Gold Eagle, very famous site worldwide for gold and precious metals. Stockcharts.com. Many good features here, some limitations. I actually did a video to show some of the main features. The key thing that I like at Stock Charts is there's a public section. If you look on the left-hand side, down towards the bottom, I think when you open their site, they have a section for public charts. And these are people that post charts online, and you have free access to view what those charts are, and you can learn a tremendous amount about stocks from reading that. I actually had a site there and took the time. I had like maybe 70 or 80 charts I was posting, but then they increased their prices by 50% with no warning, and I thought, well, that's not actually that cool. They shouldn't have done that. We're in a deflationary environment, and prices should be dropping, not increasing. So I haven't found a solution to that one as yet. Now, one of the limitations, by the way, with stock charts, you can do a 3-year chart. So the obvious limitation is you can't have a 10-year chart or maybe a 15-year chart, because it's really good to see the long-term trend lines. But it is very good for 3-year charts, and it's got line charts, candle charts, point and figure. And you can add in all the indicators like MACD, RSI, stochastics, and you can use the annotate button, and when you go there, spend some time and figure it out. That will allow you yourself to actually draw in the trend lines and add in commentaries. So that's pretty helpful. One thing, by the way, if you want to see longer term, but you can't bring up, say, 10-year chart, because if you don't pay, you're limited to 3, but you do have the ability to set any 3-year period. Like you could do, this is now 2008 October, you could do a chart from 1994 to 1997 just to kind of get a sense. But I mean, that has to be for a pretty good reason, otherwise it just doesn't jive, because it's better to see the whole chart at the same time. DB Tech Talk is it's a pretty cool guy that he believes in timing the market based on seasonal patterns, and the basic simple logic is there's certain blocks of money, and they cannot be in all, say, 13, 14 sectors at the same time. So different sectors tend to do well at different times of the year. So you need to kind of pay attention to that. Tremendous amount of information, and this is done on a daily basis, by the way. You can get updates, and it's free. But the key thing is, if you look at the archive, there is a tremendous amount of knowledge and special reports. He's done an absolutely fantastic job with what's there, so I highly recommend that. BigCharts.com is cool because it solves the limitation with stock charts. You know how I just mentioned that you can only have a 3-year chart? Well, at BigCharts, you can have as much data as is actually there, and that's really valuable. And not only that, but you can, even though it's not as cool as stock charts with the color schemes and putting in memos and stuff in the chart, but you can do long-term charts, and then you can draw trend lines. Pretty valuable to see those trend lines. They come into play a tremendous amount. So I highly recommend BigCharts.com. Stockhouse.ca, and I believe Stockhouse.com. I don't even know, to be honest, because I have it set up in my favorites. But just check this, because you're listening to the audio. Stockhouse.ca, I don't even know if they use that. It may be Stockhouse.com. Yeah, I just took a quick little break there. I do get a break once in a while, hoo-yeah. And it is Stockhouse.com. So I'm just actually going to change that if I can.